Hello? Yes. Hmm. It's a black screen. That's not good. Wait a little. Uh, why? Okay, no. Okay, it started correct. Fine. Hello, everyone. Let's start. It's me, Smash Count. It's been more than 1 month. It's been a long time. The last because with real life stuff is not going kind of. I already gave you up. Not kind of you being a streamer. We'll do just for fun. And yeah, there is not much to do. We are going to just warp for Sparkle. I'm going to use the YouTube and as archive of my experience with Honkai Star Rail. Also, news about Genshin Impact. I had quit Genshin Impact. I just didn't care about the new characters. Uh, it was good in my opinion. The daily quest, everything else on Genshin Impact was being advanced. I didn't care about the story too much. Maybe the Fountain Star was good and all, but I don't know. I just lost this thing there. And instead of just dragging on, I was like, okay, I will just give you up. I will not take more. So, yeah, that means I gave up. So, what's the plan? We know that there is Black Swan on the next page, and I have Kafka E2 as one. I must get Black Swan. So the plan is that I will wish for Sparkle because I need her for my Dunhane. And then later I'm going for uh I'm going for Black Swan. I don't have all the wishes, so I'm going to hope for the best. Uh, it's not going to be beautiful. I must tell you that. 97, that's not a lot. 20. Eh. So I'm on a target schedule. I need to win 50-50. So and the early post. It's going to be hard. Who would say that losing Firefly would hurt so much? It hurted. Anyway, let's just wish for that or warp. Yay! Uh, whew. I don't care about the. I care about the green knife. Believe my green knife is E5 or it's not E6. I believe it's E5. E3. Oh god, it's even worse. I need some items. E6 is the most important one in my opinion. So let's go for Sparkle. I almost wish for uh Q. Not that she's bad, but I need these specific characters. Because after that, I plan to not warp until um I plan not to warp until the fate Stay night, unlimited blade work. Oh, nice. Oh, put- one more night. I got it! Finally, I got it! Oh, God. I finally got it. Oh, God. I finally got this light coin. Oh, God. Look, timing is a little shines as pairs of sweat. It took time. More than a year. Oh, God. Who would know that it would come today? I wasn't expecting for that. Good luck in me. That means I will win 50 and it's going to get a little early. Question mark. Not so far yet. Oh, please. That's not good. I copied the knife thing. That's good. Please. Oh God. I know that I asked for green knifing, but that's being a lot. Okay. Uh it's soft speed. That's I think it was soft speed. I don't think it's early. Yeah, and if it's early, it's so late at this time. Okay, that's good. Ooh, please. 37 wish the vibes. Ah, that's going to hurt you. I mean, we know that we will get some warp. That's good. What's this? Oh, okay. Anyway. Ooh, thank you.
Living? That's all a big hustle and bustle. But life's all about savoring the moment. Living? That's all a big hustle and bustle. But life's all about savoring the moment.
E4 Green Knife was so good. Oh my god, I was feeling so annoyed about the how Green Knifing takes a long time to reach to be able to
Living? That's all a big hustle and bustle.
ulti.
But
That's even more
life's all about
important than his
savoring the
stick.
moment.
Oh, did we got it? No, no, we don't have his six. But
Hook's ready to find the next treasure. Hook's ready to find the next treasure.
yeah, his six hook is important. I was feeling like that. Uh, let's see. People say that E4 is not important. E4 is kind of good for Sparkle. Anyway, another thing that it's kind of interesting is that I'm not going to use the normal warps anymore. I would like Clara, Jeopardy, and Bailu. Well, not so much. Jeopardy and Clara is the most important ones for me. But one thing that's interesting is that I'm going to wait for more characters to enter the standard pool. I think it's worth waiting now. I still don't have E6 Kinkway. Oh god, that's so annoying. Okay, we got Sparkle. We are happy. Um, I forgot to change something. Wait. So let's see what we do now. Whew. Oh yes, we do the quest.
Our O'Malley one-day tour, transportation and meals.
You're here. Let me show you a trick.
I never noticed that Gunasha was here. Oh my god, I will need to talk with her later.
Ah, there you are. I was looking around before you got here. I already looked everywhere, but March 7th is nowhere to be found.
So no need to keep looking for Matsumi.
Nope. Let's just assume she successfully skipped class. Actually, she's been quite diligent in her swordplay practice and hasn't taken many breaks lately. I think she deserves a day off. Besides, I used to skip classes even more than her back when I was still learning. If I was in the mood, I could train for 3 days straight. But if I wasn't in the mood, none of my seniors could find me. So, I can understand where she's coming from.
Looks like she learned it from her master.
Don't make excuses for her. Since you're here, let me treat you to some tasty food. I'm more interested in you today.
Let me be clear. I'm not learning swordplay from you.
Let's walk and talk. Moonsha told me there's tasty food in Aru Valley. Let's go there.
Dumplings and steamed buns. The buns are huge.
A table for two, please.
All right, come on in. What would you like?
Well, we'll have one of everything on the menu.
Oh god, I don't
The
want to spend.
entire menu?
Do you think it'll be enough?
I don't have much money on me right now.
Don't worry, I've got enough money with me.
Okay.
Well, then I'll start making a few dishes, and if you need more, just let me know.
Thank you.
Are you sure we don't need to look for March?
No, I've thought about it. She deserves a day off.
You usually eat a lot.
Yeah, I mean, not too much, actually.
Wait,
Grandpa said to never be stingy when it comes to making friends. So, how big is your appetite?
I don't eat much.
Oh. Then we can bring the leftovers to Grandpa. Yeah. I mean, Grandpa said to never be Ah, then eat to your heart's content. Well, to be more precise, I'm interested in your sword.
Oh god.
Yanqing mentioned you before. He said that you're not to be underestimated, and that your weapon has a unique shape. So, I've always been curious about your sword. How the weight is distributed, what material it's made of, whether it
Mine is
contains
just a
any
bat.
special ingenia, and what kind of sword techniques you use.
It's not sword, it's a baseball bat.
Seriously? A bat?
Are you disappointed?
Just the opposite. This is fascinating.
You place your beloved bat to your twist company, perhaps second only to the likes of March 7 and hey, wait, about to be making pompo before you only.
So, it really is a baseball bat.
It's a
Grandpa
curio.
said that a sword doesn't have to be constrained by its shape, so, in a sense, your bat is a sword too. He also said that a weapon mimics its master, so your bat actually reflects your habits and nature, you know? Let me guess. You're someone who doesn't follow the rules, enjoys improvising, and can handle yourself well against tough foes. Am I right?
I'm impressed. Have you been stuck from me?
Amazing, right? And I bet you always say something silly like, rules are made to be broken.
Oh god.
I've come across so many sword wielders who acted all righteous and moral, but were really just liars. Their swords always told the truth, though. They told me that their wielders were just a bunch of frauds who relied on their divine weapons for everything. I've hunted down hundreds of swords like this so far, and every single one of them has been melted down.
Hmm. But what if you make a mistake?
Swords are more honest than words. It's much easier to judge a sword than to judge someone's words. So I rarely make mistakes. But just looking at a sword is not enough. Grandpa always says, words and expressions can be deceiving. But in a fight to the death, a sword's movements never lie. The war dance is just around the corner. You'll be participating, right?
Miss Yunli, for talented sword masters like you, the war dance is a perfect opportunity to show off your skills and make a name for yourself. But for people like him, who have already made significant contributions to the Xianzhou, they maybe don't need to prove themselves on the war dance stage.
Oh,
It has been a while, Mr. Nameless.
And you are?
it's Shikui. This is Madame Yukong's secretary.
Thank you for your introduction, Mr. Nameless. I'm Shi Kuei, and I work in the Palace of Astrum as the secretary for the Helmmaster. I apologize for interrupting your conversation. I happened to hear you discussing the war dance. And since this person is an old acquaintance, I thought I'd come and say hello.
You host any guests?
Yes, with the war dance approaching, many guests from afar are pouring in. Mr. Pavo here is one of them. He's from the distant planet Kalevala. Mr. Pavo's planet recently joined the Pan-Cosmic Trade System. He brought his delegation here this time, not only for business, but also to return something that belongs to the Xianzhou.
Miss Shikwe, the word gift is perhaps more fitting than return. While it did once belong to the Xianzhou, we faced many tribulations to be able to deliver it here, so it should be considered a gift.
I apologize for my poor choice of words. Mr. Pavo's delegation brought a legendary Xianzhou sword that had been lost for centuries. Triple Huayan plans to personally thank them at the Palace of Astrum and present the sword as a prize to the champion of the war dance. Mr. Pavo and I were actually on our way there. Since you two were talking so enthusiastically about the war dance, maybe you'd be interested in joining us at the Palace of Astrum?
But what about the food?
I love chatting about food with people.
Nice to meet you both. The journey to the Xianzhou Laofu wasn't an easy one, but the scenery here is worth it. It's completely different from my homeland. Once the formalities at the Palace of Astrum are finished, I'll find a quiet spot on this street and plant a seedling. And then my mission will be complete. The Sword of Heroes will finally be returned to its rightful owners. I couldn't be happier.
Let's talk about Kalevala.
Oh, you're interested in my home planet? That's great. Your Excellency is welcome to visit us at any time. Even though the trade route just opened, it still might take around 200 system hours to get there from Pier Point. But our planet is really great. Sure, it's a bit cold and the food is a bit repetitive and our houses aren't as fancy as those on Pier Point, but that doesn't matter. We've discovered massive supernium deposits, and we're on the path to prosperity.
Let's talk about the sword.
Oh, you mean the Mieka Kivesa? It's an incredible sword. That weapon helped the legendary heroes of my homeland slay demons, and is highly revered. It also has the power to choose monarchs. All the ancient kings of Kalevala received a sign from the sword, showing they were worthy to rule the land. According to tradition, each monarch would plunge the sword into a stone, and only a hero recognized by the sword could pull it out and ascend to the throne next.
Is it some sort of biometric technology?
Well, those are just legends from the past. No one today has witnessed it firsthand.
Why don't you keep the sword for yourself?
Well, times have changed, and now that we have a council in place, the idea of a sword crowning a king has become a joke. Besides, it wasn't a native of Kalevala who last pulled out the sword and recognized its connection to the Xianzhou ship. It was a visitor from afar. While the sword holds great historical significance for Kalevala, it doesn't truly belong to our world. The old-timers on council had a heated debate about whether to return the sword. They eventually unanimously agreed to let the Mieka Kivesa return to where it truly belongs. That's the best possible outcome.
Maybe.
Wonderful. It's an honor to have so many people witness the sword's homecoming.
General Huayan will hold the sword gifting ceremony at the Palace of Astrum soon. Are you interested?
Also, I found some. Oh god. Ah.
Let's head to the Palace of Astrum together.
You love to take a look at this. That's
I
work.
know, right? Thanks to March 7 skipping class, we get to join in on the fun. Grandpa always asks me to go look at swords with him, but he hasn't said anything about this one. It's really weird. But now that we're invited, let's go and check it out.
Oh.
It's still early. Where to now?
There you are. Come on, let's go to the ceremony together.
Let's go. Oh, it's a fight? No. Oh, Argenti, what are you doing?
Please allow me to offer a sincere compliment to my fair lady. Your beauty is as pure as a snow-white iris. Well, if it isn't my dear friend, Glad to meet you again.
Who is this weirdo?
Oh, he's a bird.
I mean, who is this knight?
I am Argenti, a member of the Knights of Beauty. I was invited as a part of the Kalevala delegation to escort the legendary Mieka Kivesa back to the Cienjo. May I have the honor of knowing your name?
My name is Yunli.
What a beautiful name. I wonder if you have ever heard the holy name of the pure and flawless goddess Adrilla.
Oh, you're here, Yunli. Didn't expect you to be so well informed. Well, now that you're here, don't forget your manners.
Manners. Come on. You won't find another granddaughter as polite and well-behaved as me.
Well, just remember this is a very serious ceremony. Sorry for keeping you waiting, Mr. Pavo. Now, let the sword gifting ceremony begin.
Before the ceremony officially commences, I want to express my gratitude to the Knight Argenti. Thank you for enlightening us about the sword's origin and for escorting it here safely so that we may complete this ceremony. On behalf of the Kalevalan delegation, I, Pavel Kalistaya, am here to return the legendary Mieka Kivesa to the Cienjo Alliance, its rightful homeland.
I'm truly grateful for Kalevala's noble act of returning the sword and for the Knight of Beauty's chivalry. Now, as we gather here on the Cienjo Lafu, I officially welcome the sword back to its homeland. Mieka Kivesa. It's a fitting name for a sword with such a legendary past. I still remember the name engraved on this sword the day it was forged. Guyin. It was forged by Hangguang, a craftsman from the Zhu Ming's Pyro-Jaya Forge.
Wait, Hangguang?
Although its blade is worn and cracked, its essence remains as resilient as the Cienjo Cloud Knights. All it needs is some repairs and polishing by the skilled craftsmen of the Artisanship Commission to regain its former glory. I've decided to entrust this sword, Guyin, to the Lafu Artisanship Commission for restoration. Furthermore, it will serve as the prize for the champion of the Lafu War Dance. This sword will be wielded against abominations to protect our homeland and live up to the mission of the Kalevalan delegation that returned it from so far away.
Thank you, General. It is an honor for Kalevala.
Now, esteemed Knight and delegation members, please head to the Artisanship Commission, where...
No! This sword was forged by Hangguang.
Yunli! These esteemed guests have brought back your father's last work. Where are your manners?
Oh, I didn't realize this sword was actually forged by your father. Returning it to its rightful owner is,
Grandpa, give me that cursed sword right now. I'll melt away the remnants of that man's curse once and for all.
Calm down, Yunli.
Don't be rude, Yunli. Apologize to our esteemed guests from afar.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for making a scene. But I have to melt down this cursed sword. I won't let it fall into anyone else's hands.
Yunli, please, go for now. This is exactly why I didn't want Yunli to know about this. I didn't want to create trouble, but trouble found its way here anyway. Perhaps it really is divine intervention. Could you, please, keep an eye on Yunli for me?
Do you think I will make sure she don't get into any trouble?
That is a tall order, but I'm counting on you. I apologize for the unfortunate interruption. Let us move on with the ceremony.
Unless I'm mistaken, Yunli should be around here somewhere.
That's a hefty battleship there.
Yeah. What's wrong?
Did Grandpa send you to look for me?
Yes.
I bet he did.
Oh, no, so now you are mind free.
Just so you know, I'm here just waiting for the perfect moment to snatch that sword. And once I have it, I'll melt it down before anyone can react. Don't even think about stopping me. No one can stop me.
You think I'm just going to let you cause more
I
trouble?
do have some skill. But now is not a good time to try to stop me. Have you heard of cursed swords? That sword is one.
So it's a sword that has been cursed.
I guess that's what it means, literally. A cursed sword lets anyone, even a complete novice, wield it with insane skill. Just by holding the hilt, even the weakest rookie can brandish it with incredible speed and strength.
It's something like that, Marcel. Coach graduated in just one day.
I'm not joking around. And I'm not making up some crazy story. While a cursed sword grants instant abilities to its wielder, it comes at a cost. It's like continuously adding fuel to the forge. With each swing, the sword drains the wielder's blood and essence. Day by day, the fuel will run out, leaving nothing but an empty husk. Soon enough, it will no longer be a person wielding a sword, but a mindless, killing machine, consumed by bloodlust and murderous thoughts.
This sounds oddly familiar.
I wonder if you've ever heard of a creature called a heliobus. It loves to feed on human emotions and memories, and excels at manipulating its hosts. There was a lunatic swordsmith who infused metal blades with heliobi, as he was obsessed with turning weapons into living things. And this is how cursed swords were made.
So your father still a heliobus inside that sword.
I know, I shouldn't have caused a scene at the sword gifting ceremony. But I've thought this through. If I don't make a fuss now, that cursed sword will cause a whole lot more trouble. So it's better if it's me causing the trouble. By the way, aren't they supposed to be taking the sword to the Artisanship Commission for repairs? Why haven't they come out yet? Any ideas?
Maybe there are other ways out of the places.
Looks like they're not going to show up here. I'll just head straight to the Artisanship Commission. It doesn't matter why Grandpa chose that sword. I won't let it fall into anyone else's hands. I'll track down every single sword he forged and melt them down one after another. Just like I've been doing all these years. I have to go now.
Is she planning to sneak into the Artisanship Commission and steal that sword? Maybe I should keep an eye on her.
I mean, let's be real. If it's going to be the prize of the wardency, if she wins the championship, she can just melt without causing any trouble. So, there is other way.
The Artisanship Commission is so big. Where could she be?
Just a while ago, a girl came up to me, all fierce and demanding directions. She said she's a member of the Artisanship Commission. Do you know her?
No idea who she is. If she really works here, how can she not know her way around?
But she carry a massive sword.
Yeah, she wasn't big at all. But that weapon of hers was pretty intimidating.
She was in a hurry, heading straight for the Artisanship Commission, and I didn't want to ask too many questions.
She said something like, "I'm a member of the Artisanship Commission. Where do you keep your precious stuff?" I got scared and pointed her toward Master Gongshu's warehouse, where he stores his arumatons.
Wait, why did you give her directions? What if she's planning to steal something?
Let's go to the chase.
Where else? Like I said, she was headed straight for the warehouse, where all the valuable arumatons are.
Yeah, that place is filled with Master Gongshu's precious arumatons. I bet they'll give her a hard time.
Our fighting is not good. I think I'm going. I will try with Firefly. It's not going to be beautiful.
What are you doing here? Look, if I get into trouble, it's my problem. I don't want to drag you into it.
I promise your grandpa that you keep an eye.
Let's smash these metal cans first. Then we can talk.
Time to test our rapport.
Until everything burns to ashes!
The mood is set. Let the show begin!
Every petal, all will be swept away by the wind.
Fight to live!
Existence is unity.
Time to mix things up.
Thank you.
Nice
I will
my friend.
keep fighting.
Indulge yourselves!
Oh.
Step up, look, it ain't over.
This is more than about sex in the sea, so please!
Some value I... An elegance. Eternal.
In the mood.
Attack! That was the last of them. Thank you for helping me out. This place is heavily guarded, but there's nothing but arumatons. Where is the arsenal? Seems like not even those craftsmen know where the arsenal is. At this rate, we won't find anything. And Grandpa might take me away before I can do anything. You're not really here to help me. You're here to stop me, right?
Of course, I'm here to stop you. You can't just stand there and watch you get into trouble.
You have a kind soul. But if you want to stop me, you'll have to prove yourself. You probably think I'm being impulsive and unreasonable, right?
Yes. So you are self-aware after all.
Hey! I'm not always like this. It's all because of that cursed sword.
Why don't you just tell me everything?
Look. I owe you an explanation. But this isn't the best place to talk. We need to find somewhere else. Let me be clear, though. I'm still pretty riled up. This is just a temporary break. I already told you about Guya. The sword that was returned during the ceremony. It's a cursed sword, with a heliobus inside. And Hongguang, the swordsmith who forged it, is my father. I rarely mention his name to anyone other than Grandpa. Maybe, like you said, I've been avoiding having to talk about him. But as long as my mission to hunt down cursed swords continues, it's impossible to avoid the topic forever. For some reason, I feel like I can open up to you. Honestly, I don't remember much about him. All I know is that the Pyrogyre Forge used to be a bustling place, with people from all over coming to get one of his swords. They called him the greatest master craftsman since Yingxing. I didn't catch all the details, but I do remember seeing him forge those amazing swords, while the visitors watched with smiles on their faces. I used to believe that craftsmen brought happiness to others.
No.
The swords crafted by the Pyrogyre Forge are famed across the stars. They possess exceptional sharpness and invincibility. With these legendary weapons, even ordinary people can become skilled warriors, capable of overcoming the most formidable opponents. But then, he became obsessed with becoming a famed swordsmith, and started crossing all sorts of lines. He forged cursed swords that should never exist. And all those people who desired those twisted swords started flooding into the palace. However, just like Grandpa said, those who excel with the sword will eventually suffer by it. The palace was overrun with visitors from afar. Some left empty-handed. Others got swords that didn't fulfill their desires. And some even resorted to stealing. And in the midst of all the chaos my father created, he ended up being stabbed by one of the swords he forged. was so sudden and unexpected. Everything went silent for a moment. All I could hear was the sound of bones breaking and blood pouring out. I was frozen in place, unable to move. It was only when my mother pushed me away from the deadly swing of the cursed sword that I managed to escape. I don't remember much after that, except for the pounding of my heart and the sound of my own gasps of breath. I could hear the smiths in the Pyrogyre Forge shouting, "Run away, Yunli!" And the screams of agony. My tears wouldn't stop. And I couldn't see anything. I kept gasping for air until I collapsed in a pool of blood. If General Huayan hadn't arrived in time, I probably wouldn't be here talking to you now. After that, General Huayan took me in and treated me like his own granddaughter. To me, he is 100 times better than my sinful father. He taught me forging and swordsmanship. Hangguang paid for his sins, but his troubled legacy must not go unchecked. According to the records, he forged a total of 1,382 Heliobus cursed swords, and 182 of them had unique designs. When I joined the Pyrogyre Forge for training, I made a vow to hunt down all those cursed swords. So far, I found 312 of them, and Guyan will be my 313th. Like all the other cursed swords, I'll separate it from the Heliobus. Then, I'll melt it down and make it part of the Blade of Forged Remnants. I've said my piece now. Even though it'll be tough for Grandpa, I still have to melt down the sword.
I think you should talk with General Huayan about.
So, you're saying, even though Grandpa knew it was a cursed sword, he still chose it to be a prize because he thought it wouldn't cause any trouble? No. No matter how I think about it, something is definitely off. Grandpa didn't tell me anything about the ceremony. He must be hiding something. Besides, after our argument today, you want me to go back and talk to him now? No way. At least not today. Maybe tomorrow. Somehow, after talking to you, I feel like I've cooled off a bit. Well, I'll have an honest conversation with Grandpa tomorrow. And I won't take any action against Gu Yun until he gives me his reasons.
Don't forget to apologize.
Yeah, I shouldn't have done that in a public place. Anyway, thank you. We'll catch up tomorrow.
I should go back to the Palace of Astrum and tell General Huayan what happened at the Artisanship Commission.
Let's see if we Master Gong's. I think Master Gong is not here. Oh, would be so funny. Yeah, he's here just like an harmony. That's so sad.
It's still early. Where to now?
My home planet made its fortune through the mining industry.
My granddaughter didn't cause any trouble, did she, young man?
You explain, Yunli straight.
Sorry for all this trouble. Yunli told you quite a bit. Now it's time for this old man to tell my side of the story. Han Guang was my beloved disciple. A rare genius not seen in the Pyrogyre Forge since Yingxing. However, talent can sometimes be a curse. He had an unusual fervor for forging, and he dreamed of forging a sword with self-awareness that surpassed that of humans. He believed it would make warriors invincible without any training. According to him, while weapons of mass destruction like Ju-Ming flames and alchemical arrows can destroy many enemies, true victory lies with soldiers who fearlessly fight, ready to lay their lives on the line. Usually, Xianzhou swordsmiths infuse a basic level of awareness into their swords to make them easier to wield. But even then, soldiers need to experience countless battles to overcome fear and sharpen their instincts. So,
So he told about using Heliobium in part combat.
by infusing Heliobi into swords, he managed to forge weapons that could grant their wielders strength and valor, and even make decisions for them. However, weapons are different from regular tools. They are meant to kill, plain and simple. After countless battles, all the anger, fear, and bloodlust are soaked up by the Heliobi within the swords. The soldiers wielding them not only gain strength, but they also become consumed by the malice, turning them into puppets possessed by the swords. No matter how noble Han Guan's intentions were, those weapons, soaked in blood, turned into cursed swords eventually. Later, Outworlders got wind of what he was doing and encouraged him to keep forging cursed swords. They came up with all sorts of reasons, from taking back their kingdoms to slaying demons. And you know what happened next. That massacre took her parents' lives, and the lives of many craftsmen in the Pyrogyre Forge. Yunli managed to survive, but she couldn't escape the horrors of that day.
That's why you didn't want to see that work.
Yes. I don't want her to spend her whole life trapped under her father's shadow. She doesn't deserve to carry the weight of his mistakes. Despite her vow to hunt down and wipe out all cursed swords, fulfilling that vow requires immense effort. Traversing the starry seas in search of the swords is like finding a needle in a haystack. And to reclaim those swords, she has to duel the bloodthirsty wielders, teetering on the edge of life and death. She has taken back over 300 cursed swords, and has suffered the same number of fatal wounds. I took her in to give her a chance at a normal childhood, not to send her on a sword-hunting journey. Even if she manages to melt down all the cursed swords one day, what will she do with her life after?
Does that sword really contain a Helios?
Yen is indeed one of the cursed swords forged by Han Guang. Very few swordsmiths could use Heliobi as forging material, and Han Guang was one of them. His attempt came at a terrible cost.
He only plans stuff to you tomorrow.
I thought this sword could be an opportunity. I wanted to tell her that her father wasn't all evil, that even the man she resents so much managed to forge a true sword of heroes. I also wanted to find a chance to tell her about the history and origin of this sword, but not during the ceremony. As you saw, it wasn't a good time. I've instructed the Artisanship Commission to keep the sword safe in the arsenal. If you have any doubts, feel free to ask the people involved.
Master Gongsu, there is something I want to talk with you. You know how you gave the Lufu a sword called Gunyo. Don't you worry, you know how you is a bit compared. Look, no, right? I heard it from my parents that young lady with this word barged into artisan commission. That's you know her young granddad, right? Is she here to threat or kidnap? You calm down. You come to steal the swords. When you can take much more. They cannot build just for the sword to the artisan commission. This prevents the armor without chance for compromise or suicide. You just relax. When I have time, I want to hear that girl tell me why I try to steal the blade.
Since my granddaughter mentioned talking to me tomorrow, I'll be waiting for her. By the way, you watched over her for quite some time. You must be exhausted, aren't you?
Red lady like her never gets tired. Tiring. I don't know, but
I'll be counting on you then.
Time to go back and find that class skipping March 7th.
oh,
Please, take good care of Yunli.
Please stay tuned.
oh, I. You there? I waved to compare with the Elsa for a bit. Care to come by there? Something happened to this word. Didn't say anything. How did you know? That's correct. The Artisan Commission says they see the sword yesterday from Jiranhua. Today, when we checked, the sword had vanished. Anyway, her home commission is a peace conduct investigation. I told them to be careful. Anyway, anyone who attended yesterday ceremony in fact, the alibi will consist. Uh, Here's a book of right. Oh, okay.
All right, everyone is here. It's time for questioning.
Yunli, I'm sure you understand why the official called you here, right?
Yeah? But I didn't steal the sword.
Yunli promised she would not steal the
Unfortunately, official Dahao didn't hear Yunli's promise. If we don't recover the sword, we will be breaking our promise to the Lawfu and betraying the delegation. We're counting on you to find the truth, official Dahao.
Yes. It's my duty to thoroughly investigate the case. Even though Yunli is firm in her words, we can't just rely on her testimony.
After everything, the sword still got stolen. Ugh, they should have given it to me from the beginning.
Just keep quiet.
In this case of Gu Yun's theft, everyone involved seems suspicious to some extent. Miss Yunli is the main suspect. First, during the sword gifting ceremony, Yunli openly expressed her intention to steal the sword. She even mentioned it multiple times. After the ceremony, she broke into the Artisanship Commission and destroyed arumatons in an attempt to get the sword. Am I right?
that's true.
The Realm Keeping Commission inspected the arsenal where Gu Yun was stored, and there were no signs of forced entry through the doors or windows. The only possible entrance or exit was a small window gap, just a few inches wide.
It's like locked room murder mystery.
Hey! It's just a theft. The box containing Gu Yun was opened and the sword went missing. But none of the other swords in the room were touched. Which means...
The theft was planned in advance.
Yeah, I don't think it was stolen on a whim.
Exactly. The suspect had a clear motive and took only Gu Yun. So, besides the ceremony participants, only the delegation members had access to the sword.
Could it be that someone from the delegate stole the sword?
In that case, why would they return it to the Xianzhou in the first place?
Not everyone in the delegate has the same agenda.
That makes sense. The delegation, led by the Knight of Beauty, delivered the sword to the Artisanship Commission. The craftsmen who received it testified that they didn't take anything from the arsenal.
Oh, this agent? No. Could this be that crafting stole the
Master
sword?
Gongshu checked the work records, and I questioned all the craftsmen and apprentices who were on shift at the time. But I didn't find any suspicious individuals.
Could it be that agent is suspicious, but he would not be that.
Argenti? Oh, that Knight of Beauty. He was with the delegation when they handed over the sword to the Artisanship Commission. You might not know, but he's the one who recognized the sword's origin on Kalevala and escorted it back to the Xianzhou. In other words, he's the one who made it possible for the sword to come home. So, he wouldn't have gone through all that trouble to bring it to the Law Fu if he wanted to keep the sword for himself, right? So, did you steal it?
Oh, I didn't.
Then stop joking around.
I can prove that he came to me after leaving the Artisanship Commission, so he couldn't have stolen the sword.
To put it simply, not everyone who's seen the sword has been to the Artisanship Commission, and not everyone who might want the sword has seen it. So, the only remaining suspect is Miss Yunli.
Fair enough.
So...
I didn't steal the sword.
Well, when you've eliminated the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth.
No, this is the only remaining
If you want to
possibility.
prove me wrong, you'd better come up with some solid evidence.
Let me gather my thoughts. I need to help Yunli clear her name. Did we miss any clues?
Who could have thought that the Mieka Kivesa would be stolen? And that the prime suspect is General Huayan's granddaughter? Regardless, we've accomplished our mission, and now it's the Xianzhou's problem. By the way, why did that girl call it a cursed sword? It's quite upsetting.
Because this word contains an evil spirit.
Young man. Now, let me get something straight. On Kalevala, this sword has always been highly revered. The first master of the Mieka Kivesa slew countless demons and then passed it down to a line of wise monarchs. The monarchs would heed the guidance of the hero spirits within the sword and gain insight into defeating their enemies.
Was that actual the voice of Helio?
What is, Helio? What? Never mind. The Point is that the Mieka Kivesa did help the ancestors of Kalevala build a strong foundation. It's definitely not a cursed sword.
The the problem is that Heliobus absorb emotions.
Seems difficult for official Dahao. Let's do this his way and prove my innocence. If I can find that cursed sword, I can prove my innocence right away.
That would be too convenient. No, that's what make it look like you steal it.
There's something else bothering me. Why would the thief take the sword, but leave the case behind? Did they melt down the sword like I wanted to?
I doubt it. Is it really that strange?
Carrying around the sword like that would be pretty conspicuous. Wouldn't a thief prefer to take the case as well?
Yes, I received your message yesterday and went to the arsenal to check on it. But when I went back this morning, all that was left was the case. I don't know anything else, so asking more questions won't help, I'm afraid. However, as the Master Artisan of the Artisanship Commission, I've got to clarify something. Even though the sword was stolen, this commission is still highly secure.
I doubt.
Wait, no. I just remembered. My precious arumatons were smashed!
Yunli says she didn't steal the sword, and I am willing to believe her. But I know well that Yunli can be impulsive. So if she did steal the sword on a whim, I won't show her any favors. You were with Yunli yesterday, young man. So you have the chance to prove her innocence. Is there anything you need to ask me?
Did she come to you afterward?
No, she was still mad at me, so she didn't come by. If she had come with you, she wouldn't be a suspect right now.
How was this sword delivered?
After the ceremony, Argenti carried the sword case, and together with the delegation, they were escorted by the Cloud Knights to the Artisanship Commission. The artisan there confirmed that the sword was safely stored.
That's how I have to.
I'm counting on you then.
The container used to steal reunions in this site to behold, pure and radiant. Perhaps it was this very beauty that has the unwanted attention. Regardless as one of the few pieces of physical evidence left in the scene, it just might hold the trace of the thief. Sword case lock. The lock mechanism nested with with the case remains intact, bearing no marks of external force or tampering.
So, the thief took the sword from the case without picking the lock.
The sword case study. The sword case must be adorned with metal wire inlays traced the pattern of lotus flowers. Ulti proclaim its origin from its lustrous consumer. Open the sword case. Try to ignore as if deliberate declaration of the existence of those who are viewing the sword case. Try the red coloring from the interior of the sword case. Two petals scattering on the brink of the winter. More precisely, rose petals.
Why is this flower petal inside the case?
That's Argent.
If you've found any clues, feel free to tell everyone.
My hand passed through Yunli's studio.
But I'm not sure if I can convince Mr. Dahao.
100% sure. Fine. Let me go through my reasoning again, and you can interrupt if anything feels off. Throughout the entire incident, there was only one suspect who broke into the Artisanship Commission, and that was Miss Yunli.
Your statement isn't quite accurate. Argenti, the delegation members, and even me, we were all at the Artisanship Commission at some point.
True. But they all left after delivering the sword. And the craftsman overseeing the handover confirmed that they couldn't have left with the sword. We looked into it as well. Before Gu Yun was handed over, the side crane at the entrance of the Artisanship Commission captured you leaving. But there's no record of Miss Yunli leaving.
Why would I dare leave through the main entrance after smashing the Arumatons?
Throughout the entire incident, there was only one suspect who broke into the Artisanship Commission. And that was Miss Yunli.
Let me see.
Miss Yunli caused a ruckus at the Artisanship Commission trying to take away Gu Yun. But you stopped her in her tracks.
What Dahao said seems right. Exactly. So at least Yunli didn't steal the sword at that time, because we were at the Arumaton warehouse.
If your testimony is reliable. I'm not implying anything, but we need to scrutinize every piece of evidence. Miss Yunli caused a ruckus at the Artisanship Commission trying to take away Gu Yun. After bidding farewell to you, Yunli pretended to leave, but snuck into the arsenal alone and stole Gu Yun.
After Yunli and I went our separate ways, I messaged Master Gongshu to inform him about the incident. And much later, Master Gongshu told me the sword was confirmed safe. So up until that point, Yunli couldn't have stolen it. Can I prove this?
After bidding farewell to you, Yunli pretended to leave, but snuck into the arsenal alone and stole Gu Yun. Wait, you messaged Master Gongshu? I had no idea. Well, that's some solid proof right there. However, it only proves the sword wasn't stolen up to that point.
I didn't do it!
After bidding farewell to you, Yunli we haven't found any other suspects or evidence.
Looks like you're missing some crucial evidence.
There are no signs of the arsenal being broken into, so... the only real evidence is the sword case.
No. The fact that there are no signs of a break-in is suspicious in itself.
Correct.
Which piece of evidence should I use to convince Dahao?
We haven't found any other suspects or evidence.
I carefully examined the lock of the sword case, and there were no signs of tampering or damage.
What does that mean?
It means the case was never locked in the first place.
As to why the case was never locked in the first place, only the people who delivered it to the Artisanship Commission would know. Plus, I found something else inside the case. Which piece of evidence should I use to further convince Dahao?
We haven't found any other suspects or evidence.
I found this in the crevice at the bottom of the case.
A rose petal? Huh. Yeah, I must have missed it during the search. But why was there a petal inside the case?
I don't know. But I do know that wherever that Knight of Beauty goes, he always leaves behind a trail of rose petals that's almost impossible to clean up.
My thoughts are a mess. Let me sort them out. The sword case was never locked, which is evidence that only someone who delivered the sword could have done that. And the rose petal was probably left behind by that Knight of Beauty. But how did he manage to take the sword from the Artisanship Commission? Why did he steal it after returning it here? And why would he leave that pedal in the case?
Ask a gente, not me.
I know. Guyon flew out of the case on its own. The Night of Beauty only unlocked the box to aid its escape.
Don't be ridiculous. How can a sword escape from a case on its own?
You've never seen a flying sword before?
I've only heard about the Mieka Kifesa being able to fly in legends. But even if it could fly, why would the Night of Beauty do this?
Like I said, the sword contains a heliobus. Argenti must have been under the control of the sword. Maybe he was under its control even before you arrived on the Lofu.
Official Dahao, where can we find that knight?
Let me see. The docking location of Argenti's ship. The one and only.
Let's go. We've got to find Argenti before that sword completely takes over his mind.
We are going to fight Argenti. Because Argenti is already a boss fight. So you can... we are going to fight Argenti. That's 100% sure.
It's still early. Where to now?
Success.
Sound lingers.
Minha cor no staff que vem. Oh. Tá.
I've been waiting for you here for quite a while.
Night of Beauty. You're the one who stole Guyon, right? Hand it over. You have no idea how dangerous that cursed sword is.
Dangerous? In my humble opinion, the real danger is always the hand wielding the weapon.
So you intend to left the rose bit.
Yes, I did. As a driller's knight, I've sworn to live in poverty, and I abhor theft. I had to leave behind a rose petal in order to keep my promise to Master Guyon and uphold my knightly oath.
What? What do you mean?
I agreed to assist Master Guyon in its escape from the Xianzhou. As the person who pulled it from the stone monument, captivated by its beauty, I must not let it down. I couldn't stay in the arsenal to convince the craftsman, nor did I want to take the sword like a thief. That's why I left behind a small piece of evidence that pointed to my identity in the hope of an open and honest conversation with you.
Whatever your reasons are, you're planning to take the cursed sword away from the Xianzhou. Hand it over to me!
Back then, it was the beauty of Master Guyon that impressed me. So I willingly embarked on the journey to return the sword. But unfortunately, Master Guyon's homeland is no longer the ideal place for it to return to. As a Knight of Beauty, I must not abandon it halfway.
Yes, I was expecting that.
He's completely captivated by the power of that cursed sword.
It's like a devil that you can mess with your
What
mind.
makes cursed swords so scary?
Captivated? No, I am touched by Master Guyon's flawless beauty. To be honest, I'm confused why none of you can understand this sword. This is quite heartrending. I've already made up my mind to take Master Guyon away from the Xianzhou.
That
Okay,
cursed
he's not like that.
has messed with your ability to think. But I'll break you free from its grip. I'll shatter its illusion. And the sword itself.
Fair lady, if you're intent on taking away this person, this sword that is under my protection, please engage me with a fair duel according to knightly etiquette. As a representative of this duel, I, Argenti, challenge you.
representative?
I swear on the spirit of chivalry, in front of Adrilla the Beauty, that I will represent Master Guyan in this duel. If I win, you will allow Master Guyan to leave the Xianzhou with me. And if you best me, Miss Yunli, I'll accept my defeat and turn Master Guyan over to you. Do you accept my challenge, Miss Yunli?
Fine. Let's see whose desire is stronger. Your desire to take it away, or my desire to hunt down all cursed swords. Show me what you've got.
Eternal.
You're not going to use Guyan to fight for victory?
Well, I know a thing or two about swordplay. In a proper duel like this, a knight should rely on the skills he's honed day and night.
You're a real weirdo.
Don't miss the best timing.
Stand in position.
The flesh wound.
Until everything burns to ashes! Fight to live!
There's more to life. Every petal, all will be swept away by the wind.
Step up, let's see ya. Nice second, my friends. Indulge yourselves!
The mood is set. Let the show begin!
I will claim sex in the seas of flame!
Let's improvise.
Fight to live!
Behold, this symbol of pure. Let the duel commence.
Take your positions. Dreams do come true.
Some value, I suppose. Existence is unity.
Firefly Type 4 in position. Set the seas of flame!
Every petal, all will be swept away by the wind.
Confess.
Recalibrating!
Forth all your might.
Still the
Attack
same
detected!
The mood is set. Let the show begin!
There's more to life.
How's this taste? Nice like it, my friends. Indulge yourselves!
Rise to the challenge.
Detonate.
Until everything burns to ashes! Fight to live!
Ooh.
I've lost. According to the rules of a knight's duel, I should keep my promise and hand over the sword to you. But before I do that, I hope that you, as the winner, might have the mercy and listen to Master Guyan's past experiences.
This sword has been cursed since the day it was forged. Place it in front of me, and let me destroy it.
Do what she says, knight.
But
You've done so much for me already. It's time for me to face her alone. I'm weary of fighting. I just want to share my past with you. To explain why I wanted to escape. After that, I'll leave my destiny in your hands. Are you afraid to witness my past, little girl?
Afraid? Well, you do have a different aura from other cursed swords. But you're just trying to use my curiosity to lure me in.
Well, you know best that a single touch won't snatch away anyone's sanity.
I think it's worth a shot, Yunli.
Fine. Show me your past.
Cutscene.
It's already impossible to contact the main Cloud Knight forces. What awaits me will be a long and lonely war.
Follow me.
Is this your memory?
It's so cold here. I didn't feel it when I was in the thick of battle, but now it's freezing me to the bone. You're indeed a masterpiece from the Xianzhou Juming. If you hadn't taken control of my body, I probably would have been decapitated in that fight.
Quiet, and stay alert. Boris and Wolf Troopers never give up the hunt.
Hey, just relax a bit. It's been over 300 days since we were both stranded on this planet. The transmitter never rings, so I guess we can't count on that anymore. The people on this planet still use beasts to pull their carts. Obviously, there's no way they can help us fix the star skiff. Looks like we're stranded on this forsaken planet for the rest of our lives.
The rest of the Xianzhou native's life could be terribly long. Are you feeling any desperation? All by yourself in this hostile world?
Yeah, a bit. Perhaps.
When things get too rough for you to handle, just leave everything to me. No need to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders.
Yeah, sure. If I really can't handle things anymore, I'll leave my body to you. But now is not that time.
Do you really think you can oppose an entire Borisan army with your limited skills? What are you holding out for?
It's true that I'm stranded here, but it seems like that Borisan pack is in the same boat. By the way, Guyan, do you know what a seed is? A seed may seem insignificant, but with careful cultivation and time, it can grow into a huge, unwavering tree. You said that the rest of a Xianzhou native's life could be terribly long. You're right. That's why I intend to plant a seed named Resistance here, and nurture it for the rest of my life. I want to show the people of this land how to defend themselves against those monsters. I can already see the seed in the eyes of those people.
You really think you can do it? Why not just give me control, and we can revel in the bloodbath together?
What was the memory I just saw?
The first owner.
It was a memory of me and a Cloud Knight, stranded on an unfamiliar planet. We crash-landed on a planet occupied by Borisan. Just the two of us.
I can feel that it was a lonely war.
So the reason for a cozy planet is because it's the only planet that you could use the Bella Bog background.
I'm alive. But all the young people in the village...
They died. They died for you. They died because of your big promises. Promising them a life free from the Borisin. I tasted their despair before death. They didn't see it coming. And neither will you.
We can't stay here. Let's move on to the next village.
Why? What's the point? You and your sorry excuse for an army have been fighting for over 3 decades, and you haven't won a single battle. What you're sowing is not resistance, but despair. This world is hopeless. It's completely infested with packs of Borisin. You've seen their numbers, and you know their methods. And those commoners you've put your hopes in, they just kneel down and worship the monsters devouring their children and families, calling them their Beastmasters. You beheaded one of the Beastmasters for their sake, but they turned on you because they were scared of the Borisin taking revenge. You remember all that, right?
I do. I remember my first death. The Borisin cut off my head. But I also remember that if it weren't for a brave youngster who risked his neck to reattach my head and give me a proper burial, I would have disappeared completely. I remember everything the people did for me. They left food at the entrance of my cave, fixed my fur coat, and some even joined my resistance. The rest of the Xianzhou native's life is still terribly long, and there will be new youngsters who will stand beside me in battle. Time is on our side.
You said it was a lonely war. No. It wasn't a war filled with loneliness, but with despair. So much despair that I don't want to ever taste it again.
I'm leaving.
Where are you going, Your Highness?
I'm returning to my homeland. A distant place beyond the sky. I'm not coming back.
But what should we do with you gone? What if those wolf demons show up again?
They won't, my child. You've wiped out the last of them. But before I go, I need you to do one thing for me. Even though the wolf demons are gone, new monsters will appear in this world. Soon, a demon will appear, donning golden branches and knowing only bloodshed. However, fear not, my children. I'm entrusting you with this sword that's been with me in countless battles. Use the skills I've taught you over the years, and you'll surely defeat that last demon.
It's him.
But that's not all. I need you to construct a stone monument for me. It must be large and sturdy enough to seal the remains of that demon forever. This is a debt you owe me, and you must fulfill it. Do you understand?
You lied to them. And you lied to me, too.
Oh?
You promised that you'd give your body to me when you couldn't handle things anymore.
Well, this Xianzhou native's life has finally come to an end, my old friend. How about one last chance for revenge? Come and bid me farewell.
for the final time.
He had long since come to some understanding. I could sense a mix of intricate emotions flowing out. It wasn't bloodlust, or anger, or fear. What he had left for you was hope.
They've learned how to fight monsters. But there's still one last monster lingering in the world. Kill it, my old friend. He left me there without ever looking back.
Hello, Julian.
Thank you, my old friend. Heliobi can taste human emotions. How do my emotions taste? My old friend.
A hint of bitter compassion and a touch of scalding courage. Your heart's deepest desire is to end war once and for all. Now, the war is finally over. Can you hear? Even though you can't hear me anymore, my old friend, I'll do everything I can to bring an end to all conflicts in this world.
So, this is the past of the Kalevalan people's Sword of Heroes? You helped the people of that world bring an end to war?
No, I did not. I am a weapon, and I only became the cause of more conflicts. Countless monarchs of Kalevala saw me as a symbol of kingship endowed by nature, and they waged wars in order to possess me. I grew tired of their wicked intentions. I didn't want to kill for anyone anymore. So I returned to the stone monument where my master was buried. And since then, no one was able to remove me from it.
But you allowed Argenti to take you away?
Because it's a gente.
And after all this time, I still wanted my master to come home. During the sword gifting ceremony, I felt anguish when I learned that I would be handed over to the most skilled swordmaster and once again become a tool for killing. My master had engraved his deepest desire into my blade. End war. As a weapon, my purpose was predetermined from the start. I had to become a deadly sword that would relentlessly hack and kill. But once I fulfilled my mission, would I have the right to choose my own destiny like he did? So, I asked the Knight of Beauty to help me break free from this never-ending cycle of bloodshed.
These thousands of years have naturally turned into memories of mine. I think I understand the beauty the knight was talking about now.
I don't want to be a sword that brings death. My war ended long ago. The years spent as a tombstone were my finest.
How are you doing? I'm doing well. The story is okay so
My
far.
experience with Master Guion on Kalevala. And now, I'm sure that Miss Yunli is as moved by the sword's flawless beauty as I was back then.
Even though I had heard the legends of this sword from the delegation, delving into its memories was still fascinating. Yunli, I trust Gu Yin's experiences have changed your mind.
General Huayan said these words could between you.
That's why Grandpa hid it from me. So I wouldn't make a hasty decision. I always thought a cursed sword infused with a heliobus would only bring rage and slaughter. I never thought someone could leave behind the desire to end war, and even change the nature of the cursed sword. My position was too extreme. Guyan is truly a sword of heroes. I apologize to all of you for my behavior. I'm sorry.
It's a sword of a hero, because the others on possible honors waged the war. You are just by me. Oh.
Now that we've proven Miss Yunli's innocence and found the sword, should we now return it to the arsenal?
No. I'm still going to melt down this sword.
Oh, Yunli.
I've heard your true desires, Guyan. I can sense that you're tired of being a sword. Constantly serving new masters and fighting battles you no longer want to be part of. Right?
But being a sword is my destiny. I'm doomed to serve some master and fight battles endlessly. Can the wind choose to stop blowing? Can a cloud choose to stop drifting? No. It's the same for me. A creation with a predetermined destiny.
That's not true, Guyan. That nameless swordmaster shaped his own destiny. So you can too.
I just can't picture my destiny being anything other than that of a sword.
Do you remember when you stood alone in front of the swordmaster's stone monument? People admired you because you carried the memories of the hero. You were no longer a sword. You were a memorial.
Later, as I became worn and weathered, the gentle wind would pass through the hollows of my body, creating melodic tones that echoed in the distant mountains. I became a musical instrument then. I miss those times.
Can a creation become what it wants to be? The answer is yes. I'll grant your wish, Guyan, and transform you into something different.
Something different?
But this is the price for the war dance. If the Kalevalan delegation finds out... Please, say something, General Huayan.
Well, my granddaughter has always been stubborn. Are you really sure about this, Yunli?
What do you all think?
You might as well ask your opinion.
Fulfilling Master Guyan's wishes is the reason I came to the Xianzhou. With the driller's blessing, you could turn Master Guyan into a plow. But as long as it fulfills his wish to end war, I support it fully.
Then, I'll leave it to you, Yunli.
It's been an honor getting to know you like this.
The honor is mine. Thank you, Yunli.
Why the long face, my child? Are you feeling regret, perhaps? You were completely determined when melting down the sword. So, why the sudden change of heart?
Grandpa, I melted down the prize for the war dance. How are you going to explain this to the lawful?
Oh? Am I hearing right? This little girl is worried about her grandpa. Didn't see that coming.
If only I'd talked to you from the beginning, Grandpa. Maybe things wouldn't have escalated like this. But at least Guyen got what it wanted. I have no regrets there.
When it comes to swords, you and your father are cut from the same cloth. So, are you planning to continue melting down the rest of Hongguang's swords?
Yeah. Guyen is unique. But the other cursed swords are still too dangerous for anyone to handle. But maybe I'll try to be more patient next time.
Be more patient. Well said. Remember what you learned today, because there will be many more situations in the future that will require you to be more patient.
Understood. But what about the prize?
Well, ever since you showed up at the ceremony, I had a hunch. So I prepared another sword as a backup plan. And don't worry, this one has nothing to do with Heliobi.
That's perfect.
By the way, the ambassador from Kalevala and that knight went to Arum Alley. They're looking for a spot to honor the hero. Why don't we go take a look together?
Let's go. You need facial. Oh god, you're going for facial. I'm going for Black Swan. I will be honest with you. I will go for Black Swan.
Do you know the history of Ormound?
Oh, General Huayan. What brings you here?
Well, my granddaughter was inspired by the heroic legends told by the Mieka Kivesa, so she dragged me here to take a look.
Why did you choose this place?
I come from a long line of Kalevala monument keepers. For generations, my family has guarded the stone monument left behind by the nameless hero. Over the centuries, a golden tree sprouted from under the monument, and its branches have never withered. We Kalevalans see it as proof of the hero's existence. Before leaving Kalevala, I took a branch from that golden tree, hoping to plant it here to represent the hero returning to his homeland.
That sounds good. We Xianzhou people don't make coffins or set up memorials, so I'm sure he would be happy to rest here where life is bustling.
The hero had asked our ancestors to carve something into the monument, so I made a copy of it too. While the inscription is pretty worn with age, perhaps you can still make out some of it.
I have drifted far from my homeland and am on the brink of death. Yet, I take solace in having honorably fulfilled my duties. Should you feel compassion for me, kind traveler, please take a handful of soil hence and bring it back to the lawful. Mr. Pavo, I wonder if that hero ever left a name in your history.
I apologize, but the hero's epic battles happened long ago, and he did not leave any name for us to call him. but in our mythology, he came from the heavens, and so we call him the Cloud Knight.
Welcome home, Cloud Knight.
Now, you can also rest here, Guyan.
Now that my mission is accomplished, the delegation will be leaving the Xianzhou Luofu soon. But of course, the experiences here will become an epilogue to the hero stories. This golden sapling will become a part of the everyday scenery of the Xianzhou. I believe it's what he would have wanted.
As a punishment for being an accomplice in this theft, General Huayan assigned me to guard this golden sapling and recite the story of the hero and this legendary sword to passers-by. This is not a punishment at all, and I gladly accepted it. Spreading the message of beauty to the Xianzhou residents is exactly what I desire. However, I plan to leave the Xianzhou soon and continue my travels. May our paths cross again in the vast cosmos, my dear friend.
Yeah, I was expecting that.
I'm feeling a bit emotional. I'd like to stay here for a while. Thank you for your guidance. I'm truly grateful. By any chance, would you be interested in taking sword lessons with me? Like March?
No. Maybe not. I have my baseball bat.
Thank you.
As a punishment, this is not a however,
Okay, we ended it. Finally. Woo! We got the 9 hours for a new Memory of Chaos. So we managed to get the Sparkle. Yay! That's so good, but we won the 50-50, which is nice, but we are in a tough spot because we want Black Swan. I don't have a lot of wishes. Warp. That is going to be hard. Let's see. I finished all the missions, so there's no mission to do except the daily ones, but the daily one is not important. I have 7 plus 37, so 44 wishes. That's not a lot. Yeah, I'm going to suffer for Kafka. 44 plus 10. So because of the new patch thing, so I will have 54 plus a few days passing. I will barely reach soft pity. That's going to be hurt. Woo. Anyway, everyone, thank you very much for watching. It was really fun. The story was okay, not the best, not the worst, in my opinion. This word story was cool, but for Yunli, it was kind of weak companion quest. I think it's important that kind of background, but at the same time, not so much. It would be interesting, but this is hard to tell. So that's it, everyone. Thank you very much for watching to now. Hope that you guys enjoyed. I will see probably when I start doing the new pet thing plus Black Swan Warp. So I believe that I will do the star first. Yes, I will do the star first, and then the warp later on another day. Probably close it to the end of the warp section because I will want the max number of warps possible. Ooh. Let me see how much warps I use on Sparkle. Let's see. One, two, three, four. Okay, 17 times 5 is 35 5 85. Oh god, I used 85 wishes. Ooh, warp. Oh, that's a lot. Yeah, Black Swan is not on site. Oh god. Okay, let's end here. Everyone, thank you very much for watching, and good night.